Have you ever wondered why the divine feminine has been wiped from the pages of history? Why is it that we've only been told stories of a masculine god, and every trace of the sacred feminine, every whisper of the goddess, has been erased, hidden, buried beneath centuries of dogma and control? What if I told you that there's a truth, a divine, profound truth, that has been buried so deep it's nearly been forgotten? What if I told you that the goddess, Sophia, has been intentionally concealed from our awareness, kept away from the light? What if the very foundation of creation, the very fabric of wisdom that holds the universe together, was once embodied by her? This truth has been suppressed, distorted, and silenced. But today, you will learn something that will awaken your spirit and change the way you see everything. In this video, we will uncover the untold story of Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, who has been buried under the weight of history, erased from our lives but never from our souls. You will discover why her absence has shaped the very course of human civilization, and why the feminine wisdom she represents is more vital, more urgent than ever. Prepare to witness the revelation that will not only challenge your beliefs, but ignite a deeper, more sacred understanding within you. The time has come for the truth to be revealed. Share your thoughts, your realizations, in the comments below. Let's awaken this divine wisdom together. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because the journey into the lost wisdom of Sophia is just beginning. Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, once reigned supreme in the minds and hearts of ancient civilizations. She was not just a deity to be worshipped in silence, but an active force of creation, of transformation, and of divine intelligence. For centuries, she has been overshadowed by the male-dominated narratives of our world, dismissed as nothing more than a myth. But today, we rise to reclaim her. Today, we will uncover the truth about Sophia, the divine wisdom that once shaped the very fabric of our existence and was once hidden in plain sight. Sophia was not a mere symbol. She was an embodiment of divine intelligence, a force that created, nurtured, and sustained the universe. She was the breath of life, the spark of creation itself. It was her wisdom that breathed the first words of existence into the void, her divine intelligence that guided the stars in their courses and the tides of the oceans. And yet, somewhere along the way, her voice was silenced. Her name was whispered only in the dark corners of history, hidden beneath layers of patriarchal power and control. But why? Why was Sophia erased from the grand narrative of creation? What happened to the divine feminine that once stood as an equal to the masculine energies of the universe? In the ancient Gnostic texts, Sophia is depicted not as a passive figure, but as an active force, a creative being whose wisdom was so profound it could shape the cosmos itself. In one of the most striking Gnostic stories, Sophia, in her immense wisdom, attempted to create without the aid of her divine consort. This act of creation, although driven by her boundless desire to bring forth life, resulted in an unexpected consequence: the creation of the Demiurge, the flawed and blind creator of the material world. This tale of Sophia's creation reminds us that wisdom, when untethered from balance, can lead to both beauty and destruction. Sophia's story is not one of failure, it is one of divine learning. It teaches us that wisdom is not only a gift, but a responsibility. The wisdom to create, to build, and to nurture must always be balanced with humility and respect for the greater cosmic order. To act without balance, without respect for the divine union of masculine and feminine, is to bring forth confusion and chaos into the world. Sophia's journey reminds us that wisdom, true wisdom, is not just about knowledge, but about understanding the interplay between the forces of creation. It is not enough to know. We must also listen. We must hear the whispers of the universe and allow them to guide our steps. Sophia teaches us that wisdom is not a solitary pursuit, but a shared journey, one that must involve the integration of both the masculine and feminine energies within us. As we explore the depths of Sophia's wisdom, we are invited to look within ourselves and recognize the divine balance that resides within. This balance is not a passive acceptance, but an active engagement with the forces that shape our lives. It calls us to embrace both the nurturing, intuitive energy of the feminine and the dynamic, action-oriented energy of the masculine. Together, they form a harmonious whole that has the power to heal, transform, and create. Sophia is not just a figure from the past. She is a living force that resides within each of us, waiting to be awakened. Her wisdom is not lost. It is simply dormant, waiting for the right moment to resurface. And that moment is now. The world is at a crossroads, and the healing of the earth, the healing of our spirits, and the restoration of balance in the world requires the return of Sophia's wisdom. As we begin to explore Sophia's teachings, we begin to awaken a part of ourselves that has long been silenced. Her wisdom is not just about knowledge, it is about healing. It is about coming into alignment with the natural flow of life, the cycles of the earth, and the eternal wisdom that exists within us all. This awakening is not just an intellectual exercise, it is a deep, soul-shaking experience. To reconnect with Sophia is to reconnect with the divine feminine that exists within every aspect of creation. It is to recognize the sacredness of life itself and the profound beauty of the interconnectedness of all things. As we begin to recognize Sophia's wisdom within ourselves, we are called to live with intention and purpose. We are called to embrace the fullness of who we are, the nurturing, intuitive energy that resides within us, as well as the dynamic, creative force that drives us forward. Only by embracing both aspects of our being can we truly step into our power and begin to heal the world around us. Sophia's story is a reminder that we are never alone in our journey. She is the guiding force, the divine wisdom that has always been with us, waiting for us to recognize her presence. She is the voice that whispers in our hearts, calling us to remember our true nature and to step into our divine purpose. As we awaken to the truth of Sophia's wisdom, we must also recognize the ways in which the world around us has silenced the divine feminine. The erasure of Sophia is not just a historical event. It is a reflection of the ways in which we have disconnected from the sacred balance of life. To heal the world, we must first heal ourselves. We must reconnect with the divine feminine within us and in the world around us. Sophia's story is not just a tale of the past. It is a story for our time. It is a call to remember, to awaken, and to heal. It is a reminder that wisdom is not just knowledge. It is the ability to live in harmony with the natural world, to listen to the whispers of the universe, and to embrace the divine balance that exists within us all. So, let us embark on this journey together. Let us reclaim the wisdom of Sophia and awaken the divine feminine within us. Let us heal the world by restoring the balance that has long been lost. And let us remember that the wisdom we seek is not outside of us. It is within us, waiting to be discovered. As we move forward, let us honor the teachings of Sophia and allow her wisdom to guide us on our journey of healing and transformation. In the ancient mystical realms of wisdom, there is a story that has been passed down through whispers and forgotten scrolls, a story of creation, of divine intelligence, and of the goddess who dared to shape the universe with her own hands. This is the tale of Sophia, the goddess who, in her boundless wisdom, sought to bring forth life, to create something new, something pure. But in the depths of her creation, something unexpected happened, something that changed the very fabric of existence. Sophia, in her infinite wisdom, decided to act alone, to create without the aid of her divine counterpart. It was a bold move, one that spoke to her sovereignty, her independence, and her deep desire to shape the world with her own vision. But in her attempt to create, a flaw emerged. A being was born, one who would become the Demiurge, the blind creator of the material world. Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, emerged from Sophia's desire to create without balance, without the divine union that is necessary for true creation. What followed was a universe that was marred, imperfect, a reflection of the chaos that was introduced when Sophia's wisdom was not balanced with the divine masculine. The Demiurge, in his ignorance, created a material world that was disconnected from the spiritual, a world filled with suffering, confusion, and strife. The divine intelligence that Sophia embodied had been fragmented, and the world that emerged from this fractured wisdom became a place of limitation and illusion. But Sophia, ever wise, did not retreat into silence. She did not abandon her creation. Instead, she sought to restore balance, to bring healing to the world that had been tainted by the act of unbalanced creation. In the Gnostic texts, we find the story of Sophia's redemption, her journey to restore what was lost, and her attempt to heal the rift she had created. Her wisdom, her divine spark, was not extinguished. It merely lay dormant, waiting for the right moment to resurface. This tale is not just a myth. It is a reflection of a deeper truth, one that is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Sophia's story is a reminder that wisdom, true wisdom, is not just about knowledge. It is about balance. It is about understanding the need for harmony between the masculine and the feminine, between action and contemplation, creation and destruction. Wisdom, when untethered from balance, can create chaos. But wisdom, when in harmony with the divine, can heal, restore, and transform the world. We are living in a time when the feminine wisdom that Sophia represents is being rediscovered. The world, fractured and broken, is calling out for healing, for the return of the divine feminine. It is calling for the restoration of balance, an equilibrium between the masculine and the feminine energies that reside within each of us. As we witness the rise of feminine power in all its forms, through movements of spiritual awakening, through the empowerment of women, through the reclamation of wisdom, we are witnessing the return of Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, to our world. But we must ask ourselves, how can we restore balance? How can we heal the wounds that have been created by centuries of imbalance, by the dominance of one force over the other? The answer lies within each of us. Just as Sophia sought to heal the world through her wisdom, so too can we heal ourselves and the world around us by embracing the divine balance that exists within us all. Sophia's wisdom is not something that exists outside of us. It is something that resides within our very beings. It is the intuitive voice that calls us to truth, the inner knowing that guides us on our path. It is the spark of divine intelligence that resides in the heart of every human being. To reconnect with Sophia is to reconnect with the divine wisdom that lies dormant within us, waiting to be awakened. The world is in need of healing, and that healing begins with the restoration of balance. It begins with the recognition that the divine feminine is not something to be feared or suppressed, but something to be embraced and celebrated. The wisdom of Sophia teaches us that true power comes not from domination, but from balance, from unity, from the integration of all parts of ourselves. In the ancient texts, Sophia's wisdom is described as the guiding force of creation, the energy that flows through all things. It is the spark of life that runs through the rivers, the trees, the stars, and the hearts of all living beings. Her wisdom is the very fabric of the universe, the force that connects all things in perfect harmony. And when we tap into this wisdom, when we allow it to guide us, we become part of the great cosmic dance, a dance of creation, of destruction, of transformation. As we journey deeper into the story of Sophia, we begin to see that the goddess is not just a figure from the past. She is alive in us today. Her wisdom is not something we must seek outside of ourselves, but something we must awaken from within. It is the wisdom that tells us to listen to the voice of intuition, to trust the guidance of our hearts, and to embrace the sacred balance between the masculine and feminine energies within us all. We are all Sophia, We are all the embodiment of divine wisdom, capable of creating, of healing, and of transforming the world around us. But to do so, we must first recognize the imbalance that exists within us. We must recognize the ways in which the feminine wisdom has been suppressed, and we must reclaim it. Only then can we begin the work of healing, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Sophia's wisdom is not a passive force. It is a dynamic, active energy that calls us to action, to change, to transformation. It is a call to awaken, to step into our power, and to bring healing to the broken world we live in. The time has come for us to reconnect with the divine feminine, to embrace the wisdom that has been buried for so long, and to heal the world with the power of balanced creation. As we move forward, we must remember that the journey of Sophia is not a journey of separation, but of union. It is the union of the divine masculine and feminine, the union of creation and destruction, the union of wisdom and action. And when we embrace this union, when we allow the wisdom of Sophia to guide us, we will find that we are not just healing the world, we are healing ourselves. Sophia's journey is not just one of ancient myth, but a timeless awakening, a resurgence of wisdom that for too long has been lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Her story is not only one of creation, but one of restoration, of reclaiming what was lost and awakening a dormant power within the hearts of humanity. In the modern world, we see the stirring of this divine energy, this force that once stood as the beacon of the sacred feminine, and it calls to us now, urging us to embrace the power that lies within us all. It is the awakening of Sophia's wisdom, and it is a profound healing that we must recognize, embrace, and live. Sophia's wisdom, however, is not some distant concept. It is an alive force, ever present in the air we breathe, in the very cells that make up our bodies, and in the deepest whispers of our souls. She represents an energy that heals, not only the external wounds of the world, but the internal wounds of our hearts, our spirits, and our minds. The divine feminine, as personified by Sophia, is the very essence of creation, holding the power to restore what is fractured and fragmented. Yet, for so long, this wisdom was pushed aside. The divine feminine, once revered and cherished, was cast into the shadows. Patriarchal forces tried to suppress it, to diminish its power and its presence in the world. The voices of women, the sacred voice of intuition, the creative life force that Sophia embodies, were muted, but this suppression has not defeated her. No, for every whisper of Sophia that has been silenced, she rises with more vigor, more strength, more determination, and as we step deeper into the age of awakening, her presence is felt more than ever. To reclaim Sophia's wisdom is to recognize the sacred in the everyday, to awaken to the divine rhythms that pulse beneath the surface of life itself. It is to honor the quiet power of the feminine, the gentle strength that nurtures and creates, and the profound understanding that comes not through force, but through surrender. The world has long been out of balance, and this imbalance is at the root of much of the suffering we see today. The suppression of the feminine has created a world disconnected from its deepest truths. But in this moment, we have the power to change that. We have the ability to reconnect with the divine wisdom that Sophia offers, and in doing so, to heal not only ourselves, but the world around us. Sophia's wisdom calls us to step into our fullest selves, to embrace both the light and the dark within us, and to understand that true power comes from the union of opposites. Her story is a reminder that creation cannot exist without balance. The masculine energy and the feminine energy are both essential forces in the dance of life, and when one is suppressed, the entire cycle of creation suffers. It is through balance that we come to know the fullness of our own being, and it is through embracing the divine feminine that we heal the fragmentation of our world. This wisdom, though ancient, is as relevant today as it was in the beginning of time. Sophia's teachings are not just historical stories or philosophical concepts. They are living truths, vibrating through the universe, waiting to be recognized, activated, and embodied. We are all Sophia. Each one of us holds within us the divine spark of wisdom, creativity, and intuition. It is not a matter of waiting for someone or something outside of us to heal the world. The power to heal lies within. By awakening to Sophia's wisdom, we awaken to our own divine nature. And so we must ask ourselves, how will we honor this divine wisdom in our lives? How will we allow the sacred feminine, which has been stifled for so long, to guide us back into alignment with our true selves? The first step is simple. Recognize her presence within. The second step is to listen. For Sophia's wisdom is not loud and forceful. It is quiet, gentle, and subtle. It whispers to us in the stillness, in the moments when we quiet our minds and open our hearts. It speaks to us in our dreams, in our intuition, in the deep knowing that arises from within. Once we begin to listen, we begin to understand. We understand that the power of the divine feminine is not about domination, but about balance. It is not about control, but about surrender. It is not about striving, but about being. Sophia's wisdom teaches us that true strength lies not in the ability to conquer, but in the ability to nurture, to create, and to restore. Her wisdom is the wisdom of the earth, the wisdom of nature, the wisdom of the cycles that govern all life. It is the wisdom that tells us that we are not separate from the world around us, but intricately woven into its very fabric. The awakening of Sophia is not just a spiritual practice, it is a way of life. It is about reawakening to the sacredness of existence, recognizing that every moment is imbued with divine wisdom. When we align ourselves with this truth, when we allow Sophia's wisdom to guide us, we begin to heal. We heal ourselves, we heal our relationships, and we heal the world. We become the agents of change that the world so desperately needs, not through force, but through love, through balance, and through the quiet strength of the divine feminine. As we step into this new era of awakening, let us remember the power of Sophia's wisdom. Let us remember that we are never truly alone, for the divine feminine resides within each and every one of us. Let us honor her by listening to the whispers of our hearts, by embracing our intuition, and by recognizing the sacred balance between the masculine and the feminine. In doing so, we will not only transform ourselves, but help restore the balance of the world. The wisdom of Sophia is not something we need to search for. It is something we must remember, something that has always been within us, waiting to be awakened. The time has come. The time to reclaim our divine inheritance, to awaken to the sacred wisdom that has been buried for so long, and to heal the world with the transformative power of the divine feminine. It is time to rise, to restore balance, and to live as the full expressions of the divine that we were always meant to be. The journey of Sophia is the journey of all of us, and it begins now. As we journey deeper into the mysteries of Sophia's wisdom, it's impossible to ignore the glaring fact that we've all been conditioned to misunderstand or even misrepresent the very essence of the divine feminine. For centuries, the sacred energy of Sophia was relegated to myths and stories, viewed as a symbol rather than a living force, a force that has always been deeply embedded within our souls, waiting for the moment to reawaken. But in our search for Sophia, we often make a grave mistake. We mistake her for something purely mythological, a distant and unreachable ideal. We look for her in the wrong places, as though she's hidden in some far-off land, tucked away in ancient texts or distant legends, but the truth, as always, is far simpler and much more profound. Sophia is not a distant entity. She is within us. She is the living wisdom that pulses through every cell of our being, the quiet voice that whispers in the moments of stillness, the inner knowing that guides us when we stop to listen. The most common error when seeking Sophia is failing to recognize her power in its most practical, grounded form. We have been trained to see wisdom and power in the external, in grand gestures and distant gods. But Sophia, in all her splendor, is not some external force to worship from afar. She is the wisdom that exists within the very fibers of our lives, within the relationships we nurture, the choices we make, and the love we give. We see her in the quiet moments of reflection, in the deep moments of intuitive knowing, when we let go of our need to control. She speaks to us in the whisper of the wind, in the rustle of the leaves, in the warmth of the sun on our skin. This is the true face of Sophia, not a goddess in a temple, but a presence in our everyday lives, in our hearts, guiding us with wisdom that transcends time. But how often do we ignore this voice? How often do we, in our quest for something grand, overlook the small, quiet miracles of life? How many times have we dismissed the soft nudges of intuition in favor of the louder, more demanding voices of external influence? We've been taught to ignore the feminine wisdom within us, to dismiss it as unimportant, as too gentle, too subtle. We've been conditioned to believe that only forceful action, loud declarations, and external validation hold value. And in doing so, we've distanced ourselves from the very wisdom that could guide us to true power. And this is where the real work begins, reclaiming Sophia within. It's about shifting our perception, breaking free from the conditioning that tells us to seek power outside ourselves, and instead looking inward to the quiet, powerful force that resides within. To truly find Sophia, we must first silence the noise, turn off the distractions, and connect with the deep well of wisdom that lies dormant inside us. It's not enough to seek her in the external world. We must awaken her within, in the stillness of our hearts. We see Sophia in the most tender and profound ways. When a mother cradles her child in her arms, when a friend offers support without words, when we create from a place of pure love. These are the moments when Sophia's energy is at work, and it's in these moments that we must recognize the power of the feminine wisdom that has always been available to us. In our modern world, this is not just an esoteric idea. It is a call to action, a call to reawaken the wisdom that we have allowed to fall dormant. As we look around at the state of the world, its confusion, its chaos, its imbalance, we must ask ourselves, what have we lost by ignoring the wisdom of the feminine? What would our world look like if we allowed this sacred force to guide us? The answer is simple, yet profound. We would live in a world of balance, of harmony, where creation is not about domination, but about collaboration. We would live in a world where power is not measured by control, but by the ability to nurture, to heal, and to create with love. This is the world that Sophia envisions, a world where the wisdom of the feminine is honored, where both the masculine and feminine energies are allowed to dance together in perfect unity. To seek Sophia is not to search for something outside ourselves. It is to rediscover the divine wisdom that lies within. It is to reconnect with our true nature, to honor both our intuitive, nurturing side and our active, creative force. It is to recognize that the feminine is not weak or passive, but powerful and transformative. It is the force that creates life, that heals wounds, that sustains and nurtures the world. So, how do we avoid the pitfalls of misunderstanding Sophia? How do we truly embrace her wisdom in our lives? First, we must stop looking for her in the grand, distant ideals of otherworldly beings and begin recognizing her in the everyday moments of our lives. We must learn to listen to our intuition, to trust the whispers of our hearts, and to honor the small, sacred moments of connection that guide us along our path. Sophia's wisdom is not loud and forceful. It is soft, gentle, and subtle. She does not demand attention. She simply invites us to listen. And when we do, when we quiet the chaos of the world and tune into her presence, we will find that she is always there, waiting to guide us, to heal us, to remind us of our divine potential. The mistake we make is in thinking that Sophia is something to be found outside ourselves. She is not an external entity waiting for us to worship from afar. She is a living, breathing force within us. She is the wisdom of the heart, the intuition of the soul, the love that flows through all things. To awaken to Sophia is to awaken to the divine within us, to the part of us that has always known the truth. And as we awaken to this wisdom, we begin to heal, not just ourselves, but the world around us. For the return of Sophia's wisdom is the return of balance, the return of harmony, the return of divine love to a world that has long been disconnected from its roots. The path is not always easy, but it is a journey worth taking. It is a journey that calls us to embrace both our light and our shadow, to honor the sacred dance between the masculine and the feminine, and to remember that true power lies not in control, but in love, in connection, in balance. So let us listen to the whispers of Sophia. Let us awaken to her wisdom, and let us allow her to guide us toward healing, transformation, and true power. The time has come to step into the fullness of who we are, to embrace the divine feminine within, and to heal the world with the transformative power of Sophia. As we come to the end of this journey through the wisdom of Sophia, it's impossible to ignore the powerful transformation that is happening within us. You can feel it, can't you? The stirring of something deep within, an ancient force, a divine wisdom that has always been with you, but that has been silenced for so long. The wisdom of Sophia is awakening, and with it comes the call for balance, healing, and restoration. Imagine, for a moment, a world where the wisdom of Sophia guides every decision, where the divine feminine energy flows freely, where intuition, nurturing, and creativity are embraced as sacred powers. Can you picture it? A world where the masculine and feminine energies work together in harmony, where both are revered as essential forces for creation, balance, and peace. This is the world we are being called to create. This is the world Sophia's wisdom invites us to build. Sophia is not some distant myth. She is the divine energy within each of us. She lives in the quiet spaces between thoughts, in the stillness of the heart, in the intuitive whispers that guide us when we open ourselves to the sacred. She is the life force that breathes through every tree, every flower, every star. She is the pulse of the universe, the divine intelligence that governs creation, and the wisdom that will guide us back to balance. But the journey does not end here. This awakening is just the beginning. Sophia's wisdom is calling you to step into your full potential, to reconnect with the divine feminine within you, to live in alignment with the sacred forces of creation. Her energy is ready to flow through you, to guide you, to heal you, and to empower you to live a life of balance, purpose, and love. As you move forward, remember that the wisdom of Sophia is always available to you. It is not something you have to seek outside yourself. It is already within you, waiting to be awakened. Trust your intuition. Honor the sacred feminine within you. Embrace the balance of masculine and feminine energies in your life. When you do, you will begin to see the world in a new light, one filled with love, harmony, and divine wisdom. This journey is not just for a select few, it is for all of us. The world is in desperate need of healing, and it is through the wisdom of Sophia, through the awakening of the divine feminine, that we will find our way back to wholeness. We have the power to heal ourselves, to heal our relationships, and to heal the world. The wisdom of Sophia is the key. So, I invite you to reflect on what this journey has stirred within you. What has Sophia's wisdom awakened in your heart? What steps can you take today to begin living in alignment with the divine balance that she represents? The path may not always be easy, but it is a path of deep healing, growth, and transformation. It is a path that will lead you back to your true self, to the sacred wisdom that has always been within you. As we close this chapter, I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for being here, for sharing in this sacred space. If you feel that this video has brought value to your soul, if it has helped you find light in the midst of darkness, I ask that you consider supporting this channel. Your support, no matter how small, is a precious gift to me. It allows me to continue sharing the messages that will help guide us all back to the divine wisdom we carry within. If you feel called to share your thoughts, your reflections, or any questions that this video has sparked, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear how Sophia's wisdom has resonated with you and how you are beginning to awaken to this divine force in your own life. Please consider subscribing to this channel so we can continue this journey together. By subscribing, you help spread this message of healing, love, and transformation to others who need it. Every like, every share, every comment, these small acts of support are what help to amplify the divine wisdom we are bringing into the world. Thank you for your presence, for your energy, and for your commitment to living a life guided by the divine wisdom of Sophia. May this wisdom continue to guide and transform you, and may you carry it with you into every moment of your life. Together, we will build a world where the divine feminine is fully awakened and where all beings are honored in their sacred power. With love and gratitude, I invite you to walk this path with me. Let the wisdom of Sophia light your way, and let your life be a reflection of the divine balance, peace, and love that she represents.